All right.
Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Retire2Roam. I'm Russell.
I'm LJ.
So what we wanted to do is discuss our last month of traveling in April, where we went to Tokyo with our son and daughter-in-law, and for I think it was right at a week, and then maybe 8 days or whatever, and go over our budget for the month of April, which included not only Tokyo but back here on the island of Guam. And so, what do you think we spent on the month of April?
Oh, I know what we spent.
I do too, kind of, but we still, like I said, when we started this out, we've got a yearly budget of $48,000 a year, which breaks down around $4,000 a month. So stick around. Did we spend $4,000 or did we go over or stay under?
Yeah. So you know how much we spent?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's share with
I've
everybody.
improved on this since we started this. So I've become a big fan of the travel spend app, especially while we was in Vietnam. So
Yeah.
great way to keep up with every dime you spend. So.
And one thing I found hard in Japan was we were so busy was keeping all of our expenditures or expenses logged.
Yeah.
Like if we would hop on a subway, I might forget, and then at the end of the day, I'd be like, "Oh, wait a minute! We took 3 train rides. I've got to go back and figure that out." So, I did learn that if you enter them as you go, it's better, and you don't forget them. But
Right.
So let's get into it and see how much we spent. So, before I show you what we spent for the month, which was a little bit of a shock to me, we will say that Japan we found was expensive. We went at the prime time of the year. We went during the cherry blossom season. And from what we gathered, obviously, like in most places, if it's a peak time of the year for whatever reason, they're going to jack up the prices of hotels and that kind of thing. So it was an experience for sure, and we enjoyed it. And I felt like we did okay as far as eating out.
Yeah.
We really tried to be conservative as far as what we spent most of the time.
Well, if you've seen any of our other videos while we were there, 7-Eleven's a great place, the Lawson stores, so you can eat kind of inexpensively. When we say it's expensive, I mean, it was it's not as expensive as some places, but I think the yen versus the dollar, we got a pretty good deal on a lot of stuff, but it's just, you just had to watch where you was going to spend your money, and we'll break that down in this app right here.
Yeah, so right here, our number one expense was for the month of April were our flights, round trip from Guam to Tokyo. So that was $955.50. So that was a big expense. We knew it was going to be expensive. That was actually 25% of our budget for the month of April. The second most expensive item of our month was the accommodation, which was also for Tokyo, which was 17% of our budget, which was right at $658. So among those two things right there, we've got almost 40% of our budget that we used for the month. Actually,
For the month.
a little over 40% of our budget for the month of April. The second expense was groceries. That was back here in Guam. So once we got back, we kind of had to restock some things. Transportation was $348, and as we said, that included trains, taxis, Uber, all that while we were in Japan, which was a little bit more expensive, obviously more expensive than what we were used to when we were in Vietnam.
Yeah, the location from the airport and the hour that we arrived, it was just a better option just to go ahead and get an Uber, and it was pretty costly because of the distance where we was from the airport to the lodging where we were staying at.
Yeah. Next item was restaurants. That was $309. And I will say, go back up to the groceries. For the most part, I don't remember if I calculated like our 7-Elevens in as groceries or restaurants, but probably groceries, I would say. So a lot of that $605 actually was part of what we got at 7-Elevens. And then we've got our restaurants. We had a couple of restaurants when we got back to Guam, so that wasn't all restaurants in Japan. And then general, we spent $259. One of the things that we spent on the month of April Russell, you had some medical expenses.
Yeah, I found a chiropractor and done some adjustments and stuff for the month of April here. And I think every time I went, it was like $60, and I had like 3 or 4 adjustments or whatever.
Yeah, the first time you went was $120, and then every visit after that was $60. And just a side note, we are hoping to turn that in on the insurance, which he did already. Of course, it's gotten rejected.
Yeah.
Something wasn't filled out properly, so who knows if we'll ever get any money back on that or not, but we're trying.
We should be able. I just got to document it a little bit better for what they want, and then they'll get it straightened out.
Yeah. Okay, then we've got church, entertainment. Entertainment was what we did in Japan. We did a couple of things while we were there. Excuse my cell phone. We did the team lab and something else we did.
Went to Mount Fuji.
Went to Mount Fuji, yeah, something else, I can't remember. Cell phone, shopping had to do with, what did we do shopping? I think I had to buy a couple of pair of pants because it was actually colder in Japan than what we had packed for. When we left the States, I got rid of all of my long pants except one pair of jeans, so I did have to buy another pair of jeans and that kind of thing. For some reason we put in drinks. I guess that's Coca-Cola, it says etc. Let's just be honest, it's mostly coffee, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then activities and restaurants. I'm not sure why this restaurant is down here versus the other restaurant. Russell did a lot of logging this month, so I'm not sure.
On me. I messed it up.
I'm sure he probably logged that incorrectly, but that's probably what that's for. So here's our totals we wanted to show you. We actually spent, ouch, $3,795.07 for the month of April, which was quite shocking to me, actually.
Yeah, but like I said, we've got a $48,000 a year budget, and if you factor in that we just went for a week and it was a quick turnaround trip, and it was during peak season in Japan. If we were slow traveling, going somewhere, we wouldn't have done the round trip. We probably wouldn't have stayed in lodging that would have cost that much for a week. We would have shopped around and got like a long-term discount. I mean, there's ways around. Yeah, it is pretty high, but there again, if you're doing slow travel and you get time enough to budget and look and do research and compare lodging and stuff, you can get the long-term stay cheaper than that. And if you're just paying airfare for one way and then jumping on over to another country, your cost on all this transportation and accommodation is going to be far less.
The $650, $850 that we spent on the hotel, we actually split a suite with our son and daughter-in-law, so they also paid $658. So you can tell it was almost $1,300, over $1,300 just for the 6 nights that we were there. So it was an expensive, to me, an expensive hotel, but it was in the heart of Ueno, which is where we wanted to stay. It was a very good location and a nice accommodations. It had a kitchenette, bathroom, and places.
Washing machine, dryer.
Yeah. So we could have stayed cheaper possibly, but we traded off location and that kind of thing. Our daily average this is the first time that we've been over $100 that I can recall since we retired. So again, it is a little bit of a shock to me that we spent this much money, but I know, as Russell said, as long as we're under the 4,000, which we were very close, I feel like we're okay, because we have had a few months. I know December, January, February were right around 2,000, and I believe in March, let me look back at March. March we spent $2,822, so we were still under about $1,000 just for the month of March. So if that kind of gives you any indication.
So we're still under budget.
We're still under budget, and we're not ready to throw in the towel yet.
So as you can see, going over our budget, in conclusion, set a budget. You need to set a budget, stick to it. I mean, there's going to be a month that you're going to go over, but as you can see, since December of 2024 till March of, actually April of 2025, we've actually been under what our monthly budget has been. And that's just due to my wife being real frugal and just doing research and finding everything. And hopefully in the coming months, you're going to see how frugal she has been and where we're going, and we'll leave that for a surprise. But I think you're going to be excited to see our upcoming trip and where we're going to next. But set a budget, stick to it best you can, and write down. Use, there's other apps out there as far as keeping up with what you spend, but the travel spend app has been the free part. It's free, and you can see where we just displayed it on here. It's a great resource to have. Write it down as soon as you spend it. Get a receipt or whatever. Or snap a photo of it. That way you know at the end of the day when you come in from walking around or whatever you're doing, seeing the sights, you can write the number down and you've got it.
I'm so proud of you talking today.
Yeah.
I always tell him that I feel like I'm the only one that talks on the videos. Yeah. And just to remind you, we do have the paid version of Travel Spend, yeah. But like Russell said, there is a free version that you can have. It just doesn't, I think the disadvantage of the free version is it doesn't keep up with month after month after month, which is what I wanted. So that's one of the disadvantages. But it's very inexpensive if you want to get the lifetime or yearly membership for sure. What was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say. I can't remember.
Well, if we hadn't told you to like, click, or subscribe to our channel, hey, we've gained a few followers since our last video, so we're liking that. Give a comment. Kind of alluded to the video of where we might be going to next. If you can make a guess, put in there where you think we might be going, and
yeah.
We'll let you know if we're right or not, if you're right or not.
I remember what I was going to say now. I don't know when you'll be watching this video. Obviously, it's the 1st of May in 2025, and things can change. But we have talked to our financial advisor. If you're watching this now, you know that the economy in America is a little wishy-washy right now. We still have full confidence in America and in our leadership. And what the president is doing right now. I hope that doesn't offend anyone. And we think that we're going to come through this on a better note, hopefully. And,
Just going to take time.
It's going to take time. And we're not panicking, although we are relying fully on our accounts. Russell, like we've said before many times, has a small pension. I'm not getting anything yet. So if you're concerned, talk to a professional. Hopefully, if you're in the position we are in and fully retired, that you have a financial professional in your corner who can talk you off the edge of freaking out, I guess, right now. So we're not overly concerned. Certainly, we like the days when the stock market's up, and we just kind of, on the days that it's down, and you just kind of have to ride that roller coaster. We don't panic. Our financial person has been very good for us and educating us, which we already knew this, that over a period of time, the stock market typically has always bounced back, and we feel like it's going to this time, but not to keep you any longer than we need to. Like Russell said, comment below where you think we might be going next, and we are going to be leaving Guam in a couple of weeks and heading out for quite a period of time. We're not going to get into that yet, but we thank you all for watching, and thank you for the comments, for the questions, the suggestions that you've given us.
The thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. We really appreciate it, and thank you all for watching. Have a blessed day.